Episode 27 and our last auction of the 2024 year. Wow.
It's a lot.
I'm kind of sad to see 2024 coming to a close.
I know it's been a busy year, and we've got even more in plan for 2025.
But you can't share those details yet.
Can't.
We have to focus on what's happening now and in the moment and cherish the last 3 days of the 2024 auction season, Matt.
And we have a couple special shows in store, starting with, we've got our festive decor.
Matt, you did a great job. I was not in the festive spirit this year. You took charge of it, and I love, I don't know if you guys can see, but our lights have little trucks and little trees on them, and the little light up tinsel. I'm so stoked on your decor. My mom would be so proud.
Well, thanks for joining us for Mecum in the Morning. This is indeed episode 27, and Brianna and I are here at the Kansas City Convention Center for day one of Mecum Kansas City.
And it's chilly.
It is chilly.
It is
outside,
very chilly. Yeah.
But inside,
it's nice and cozy with all the cars snuggled around us.
It sure is. And for the daily rundown today, there will be 188 collector vehicles crossing the auction block, along with 35 pieces of road art. And Brianna, we have so many cars in this building. It is pretty exciting to see everything stacked in here.
So I obviously am new to Mecum. I've only been here around 9 months, but I heard this is the most vehicles that we've ever offered at Kansas City. So that's exciting. I think it's a little over 150 more than usual. So there's a lot to choose from. We've got some great trucks. We'll talk about some of the really cool trucks, but we've got some great muscle cars and just everything here.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. We've got some very cool trucks, including one we'll be spotlighting in just a little bit. Before we get there, it is the holiday season.
It is. Look at this, guys. This just dropped in our Mecum shop yesterday. Fuzzy Dice. These are great stocking stuffers for the family. I'm going to keep the pair that this pair, but I think, Matt, maybe I'll get you a pair for your stocking.
For the Durango?
For the Durango. Oh, that would be so great in the Durango, but they look great in any car. We did a photo shoot with them yesterday, so we put them in muscle cars. We put them in some pre-war cars. They just look great over any mirror.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and we've also got some apparel. Your jacket is in the Mecum shop.
It is. Perfect for winter.
Perfect for winter. And then you've got the new exclusive Kansas City event tee.
I do. What's on the back, Matt?
I think to Oldsmobile 442, and
Yep.
it's got some of the Kansas City skyline. I'm not familiar with KC enough, but
yeah,
someone can drop me in the comments below what building. It's probably the convention center now I think about that.
I don't think it is. We'll have to go because actually Dre, Jeff, and I were the ones who kind of choose the backdrop of it, and I just can't remember. So my bad. We'll get back to you folks on that.
Absolutely. So a lot in store today, and before we get too far ahead, Brianna, let's talk about something that I don't know if it broke the internet. It probably came pretty close.
I would actually say it broke the internet, and it has been continuously breaking ever since the rebrand. So before we get into that, Jaguar did a rebrand of their logo, right? So they announced that, and that brought up a lot of controversy. And then they essentially wiped their Instagram and all their social media clean to do what?
Well, to showcase a new direction for the brand. And, I think it's always great to rebrand, and it's always great to get a fresh look. I don't know if Jaguar went too far because, again, the internet was very vocal about the direction of the brand, but they showed off initial concepts of what there is in store. They showed off this Type 00. According to the brand, it's unique and different to the norm. It's a visionary design that defies electric vehicle convention. It's kind of got this classic proportion, Brianna, with a long hood, a sweeping roofline, and a fastback profile. They debuted two different versions, or at least two different color renderings, one in Miami pink and one in London blue. In pink, and I'm not sure if it resonated with the Jaguar fan base. It seemed like everyone was very opinionated about if this is a good step for the brand or not.
And I think, again, it starts with the rebrand of the brand itself and some of the controversy surrounding how they showed the new logo and everything that went along with that. And then followed up with this concept car. I heard it leaked, and that's what kind of pushed them out to come out with it a little bit sooner. I don't know if that's verified or not. But again, I think it's a complete rebrand. Jaguar is very iconic. It's one of the most iconic car companies and very classically styled and has a certain allure and a luxury aspect. And then the rebrand, I can't open social media without hearing someone's opinion about it. I have a lot of opinions. I actually don't mind the logo. maybe the way that they went at the showcasing or the appeal of that, but then going in and then one of the cars is pink. Now, if you look at the standard or what you would assume like the regular Jaguar customer, it's pink is not usually a color that I would put along with the Jaguar owner sphere. So there was a lot.
There is a lot. And while the Type 00 is not going to make it to production, it's purely a concept car. Jaguar has announced that the first next gen production Jaguar will be a four-door GT that's going to be coming next year. But Brian, while you can't buy the Type 00 and we don't know what the next one will be, what you can buy if you do want a classic Jaguar is you can buy one of the most iconic Jaguars.
It's so groovy, baby.
So groovy. You can certainly buy the 1967 E-Type Series 1 Roadster from the movies, Austin Powers, at Mecum Kansas City. That's one iconic Jaguar.
I actually think that's also breaking the internet right now too. I think with Jaguar's announcement, people are looking for other Jaguar news, and every time I open up our morning media report, the Jaguar that we're bringing to Kissimmee is just inundating my media feed, right? And it's fantastic to see and hear. And there was a conversation that we had in the office the other day. You don't come to the office. You have the luxury of working remote, but I was talking to Kayla Smith, our social media coordinator, and Phil, who is our digital content manager. And it was hilarious, or not hilarious, but it doesn't matter how old you are. People love Austin Powers. They know the quotes from it, even if they don't know it's directly related to Austin Powers, $1 million or whatever the case may be. I think Austin Powers speaks to a variety of generations, and you can see that without how much love and attention the Jaguar is getting. I couldn't have guessed that it would get that much media out there. It's been fantastic to see everyone's excitement. And for those, and I know we talked about it a little bit before, it is not a replica. This is the Jaguar that was used in the original or the first two Austin Powers movie. It's not a replica. This is the real one. And I really want to drive it.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit, Brian. We mentioned that here at the Convention Center, we've got a ton of trucks crossing the block. We've got a very special one. It's a 2019 Silverado built by Real Truck in collaboration with MeatEater. And it's the proceeds, it's selling at no reserve tomorrow. And the proceeds are benefiting Folds of Honor. And we have a special guest joining us. And also to set the stage, we've got a little bit of a teaser package kind of showcasing what this truck is all about.
And there's someone here. It's like magic.
I know, I just popped in. It looked like a great place to sit.
Yeah.
Well, we're so excited to be joined by Colonel Nick Nichols. Nick, you are president of Folds of Honor, and this is the charity that's benefiting from the sale of this truck. Can you detail what is the mission of Folds of Honor and how to get started?
Yeah, so Folds of Honor started back in 2007. Our CEO and founder, he and I were both F-16 pilots. We flew together, but he and his wife started this above their garage after witnessing the return of a soldier that had been killed in Iraq, and he knew that he wanted to do something. So our mission is to provide educational scholarships to both the spouses and kids of military members and first responders who have either been killed or disabled. And what's neat, we're in the Kansas City area right now, right? So since inception, we've deployed over $9 million in educational support to the families both in Kansas and Missouri.
How does it work? Like when you guys have money and the funds together to support these families, do families apply, reach out, or like what is the process?
Yeah, so the process, every year we have a scholarship application window. It's February and March. So they go to our website, foldsofhonor.org, click on that application tab, and it's super simple. I've got an amazing team back in Tulsa, Oklahoma that'll walk them through the entire process.
And this is a national charity, right?
It is a national charity.
Whether you're in Alaska or all the way down Key West, Florida.
That's right. We have students in every state in the U.S. and since inception we have deployed $290 million in educational support. That's over 62,000 lives changed.
That, like, honestly, I didn't want to cry today, but you know it's a Christmas feel good moment. Just hearing about what you guys are doing.
Oh, it's amazing. And when you have partners like a Real Truck and MeatEater, I'm a hunter, so I watch Steve Nulla's show all the time. MeatEater. It's just, this was a sort of a pinch yourself kind of moment. We got a preview of the truck last night, which was super.
Yeah, thanks
super
for
cool.
coming. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Is that the first time you've seen the truck in person?
It is.
Should we take it out and go off-roading with it later?
Oh my God, can we do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we have the key. They trusted us with the key to the truck.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I like the most stressful job in this place is the poor guys who have to park all these expensive cars.
Yeah, I would not want to do that for anything. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Well, speaking a little bit about that truck, some of the equipment on it is it's got a whole bevy of off-road equipment, really setting it up to succeed off-road. It's got a lift kit. It's got custom running boards and front and rear bumpers, a winch. There's a lot of team members from Real Truck last night at the event, filling me in a little bit on some of the specs. And I'm with you guys. I would love to take that thing off-road. Yeah,
it has even more than what you originally see. What we did last night is we had one of the guys from Real Truck talking through. I think you saw him giving a demonstration of all the accessories. So I told him he's actually got work cut out for him. So we're just going to stage him at the truck today to show all the things that you wouldn't necessarily know come with it because they're so nicely put together and packaged. So he'll do demonstrations, open up the tent and, the side boxes and everything. Yeah. And maybe we'll make the Colonel over there hang out with him too today and maybe talk up Folds of Honor and everything that you guys are doing.
No, absolutely. And it was fun looking at the truck last night because there's all these little hidden gems in there, especially you get in the bed of the truck, you're like, oh my gosh, what does all this stuff do?
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, I wish I had the money to buy it. One, it supports a great charity, but it's actually an adventure mobile, and I like adventures.
Well, if you're coming out to the Kansas City Convention Center, you can't miss the truck as you come up the entrance. It's right there at the top. Colonel, if people want to find out more about Folds of Honor, where can they head online?
Yeah, so go to foldsofhonor.org, and click the About tab. You can learn all about us. If you would like to donate and become a monthly giver, we ask for $13 a month. A lot of people ask why the number 13. You see the folded flag on my hat. It takes exactly 13 folds to bring you to that iconic triangle shape of freedom, and it represents service and sacrifice. So join us for $13 a month. I promise it's probably less than the cup of coffee you bought this morning.
My grandfather passed away, and we got given the flag, and I always wondered what. So you just 13 folds. Yeah.
Yes, 13
now
folds.
I know. Thank you. That was very educational. He retired as a lieutenant colonel.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, in the Air Force.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service and all you're doing with Folds of Honor. It's so great to have you out here. And again, if you're coming out, track down the Colonel, find out more about their organization. Of course, be looking for this truck to sell tomorrow.
Yeah, and are we allowed to tease what's coming to Vegas as well? So I think we have a motorcycle that is also, the proceeds are going to Folds of Honor as well.
Oh, I guess tease away.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's our teaser.
Well, and when we get an F-16, we're going to call this guy to be, our resource when we sell one.
Wait,
there you go.
Do you still have access to F-16s?
No, unfortunately, took my keys away when I retired.
Darn it. That could be a really great morning show episode. We could be flying with the Colonel.
We're going to have to keep his number handy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. And be looking for this truck to cross the block. And Brian, we are all over the map today in terms of content. We have a very special package coming up about some fun times we had in Las Vegas. You and I caught up with some lowriders for the low riding scene in Las Vegas. Here, take a look.
I'm having so much anxiety right now. The cars just go slam into the pavement. How do they keep going?
Today, Brianna and I are in Las Vegas, and we're checking out the local lowriding scene.
My name is Candelario Sedano, and this is a 1949 Chevy Coupe. This is a family thing, It's kind of a memory of a few family members that passed away. There's a lot of little things on the car that has like sugar skulls. The theme of the car is like the Day of the Dead. It's just mainly going out, showing what you do to your rides, and the culture here in Las Vegas, lowrider culture, is very rich.
We have 3 generations here. They're all avid car lovers. We got Jaden, Daniel, and Pops. This, to me, is special because you guys built it together, correct?
Yes, we built the car together, frame off. This car came off the frame, completely repainted the underneath of the car, frame matches. It's a 1981 Chevy Malibu.
most of the people here, they got family members involved, sons, kids. But it's amazing when you can come together as, my grandson and my son and spend quality time.
So for you, like this is your baby, but what is your inspiration about being behind the car culture that you're in?
Definitely inspired by my dad. And that's where I learned how to work on these cars and build them. And yeah, it's an inspiration I wanted to be. I'm more into, we call it the hop scene. My car jumps and I go and compete in car shows. He's more into the show part of it.
So have you guys started building a car together, like your future car for when you turn 16? You got to get started now, buddy.
Yeah, we have one on the side of my grandpa's house that we're going to build. That car is going to be mine.
Can you explain to me what that is, Dad?
It's an El Camino. It's a 82 El Camino that he's going to pretty much he wants to do the same thing I do. He wants to hop.
So fill me in on your setup. How'd you put this all together?
All 9 batteries give power to the front of the car off the piston pump, which is a combination of oil, battery power, and air. So you do the math, times 9, you got a lot of power.
Something else I noticed too that I think is important are the chains. Is that a safety measure underneath?
When you raise the car in the back, it pretty much locks your suspension together to keep it nice and tight. Without the chains, everything's going to just try to bounce around. So that's pretty much what that is. It locks your suspension together. So there's just different categories of cars in the hop scene of what you want to do with the car. And when you're competing in those categories, it all goes off of how high your car goes to the bottom of the front wheel.
Pretty much all makes and models are welcome, but it's usually rear-wheel drive cars, big on the Chevys. Definitely have to have hydraulic suspension and wire wheels on your car. That's kind of our staple.
You can appreciate the work and dedication that it goes into transforming cars into lowriders.
And the other thing that I'm blown away is how much passion we've seen both in the cars and from the owners.
Yeah, and the generational family impact that it has, and raising future car enthusiasts and automotive customizers. You know what? No better way to end our time in Vegas with literally our own little lowrider cruising car show.
I think Levi showed you up a little bit with the artwork on his head. It's not just tattoos, it's tattoos of the low riding community
I mean,
in
you
his
see
car.
right there, he's got the word Bel Air right there, so you would think that maybe he does love a good Bel Air. Levi is the unofficial mayor of Las Vegas that drives the real mayor of Vegas around. Look at that. He's on 3 wheels.
3 wheels.
That guy knows how to pop too. Look at it, see? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we build them to tear them up, in a sense.
No, not in a sense. Literally.
Levi, is it pretty traditional for Chevrolets to be the car of choice for the lowriders?
In a sense, the Chevrolet makes the best lowrider. It is like a perfect X-style frame for what these guys are doing, hopping the car.
This has been so much fun, Brian. I love our caravan of lowriders. Big thanks to Levi, but Levi, can you take us back to the auction?
Absolutely, we're on the way.
Onward, Viva Las Vegas!
I have to say that that day in Vegas, as you can see, was an amazing day. But something I want to even say above that is what you and I are doing when we're interacting with these different car groups and cultures is we're going in sometimes as newbies, I guess, or not knowing the culture. And what we're trying to do is highlight different cultures out there and bring it to, I guess, a more mass audience. So, I saw a couple comments on our YouTube channel and everyone tells me, like, don't get all in a piff about it or whatever. But, there was 2 comments that stuck out to me, in this video is, find people that know more about it. Well, we did. We found Levi, the mayor, the unofficial mayor of Vegas, and we found his team to educate you and I about the lowrider culture, because that is not a culture we grew up in. And what we wanted to do with the video is, again, highlight something that we wouldn't necessarily in what we do in an everyday work, but it also gave us an affection for a community that we didn't know existed and try to understand how they work.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite parts of that day, Brian, was about how it evolved. So I will say also big thanks to Levi, big thanks to Aaron with Car Dads, who is a local friend that I have, who Aaron and I started talking about this, I think earlier in the fall. And I said, hey, we want to experience car culture in Las Vegas. And so he put us in touch and the word got out. that we wanted to kind of spotlight some lowriders. And it was so funny, Brian, because you and I showed up to that shoot, and Levi was there with one of his other friends in cars. And we were like, let's go. There's so much here to talk about with these two cars.
Yeah.
And then it just was one of those where like they kind of put the unofficial word out. And by the end of the day, I think we had 10 or 15 cars that were just...
We had a car event.
We had
a car show.
We did.
Yeah. And then we had
did.
bachelor parties stopping by and wanting to take photos. We had people, and we rolled up to that beautiful alleyway that had great paintwork or whatever. And then the great thing is I guess the lowrider culture in Vegas is very welcomed. And when we were driving down the road with Levi and team, a couple police officers drove by while the cars were bouncing and hopping everywhere. And well, they just waved at us and said, have fun.
Yeah, it was very organic and authentic. So, and like you said, there's going to be much more of that to come as we go out and we experience car culture and bring it to our viewers. Speaking of that, I was recently on the move.
Yes, you were. In
Utah, and was able to connect with Dave Kindig and the Kindig design team. We've got more on that later, but as part of taking in some of the Utah car culture, I stopped by Automotive Addiction, this place I had heard about. I was like, I got to check it out. And here's what I found out about Automotive Addiction. I'm outside of Salt Lake City in Sandy, Utah at Automotive Addiction, and I'm here with ER, the co-founder. ER, tell me all about Automotive Addiction. What is it and how does it work?
It is a fantastic place for you to see some pretty outstanding cars. Behind us are some really, really special ones that I'd love to tell you about.
Starting with this one, ER, I think I recognize this from a movie. What are the details?
This is the car from Vanilla Sky. Paramount had this car commissioned. Ferrari got really upset about how close this came to the actual Ferrari 250 GTO, but they needed to show how wealthy Tom Cruise's character was in that movie. But of course they couldn't afford that for the budget of the film, so we got almost that and a pretty cool build.
One of my personal favorites, ER, that I've seen so far is this Yes Roadster. To me, this is one of the cheeriest cars to come out of the 2000s. What are some of the details on this one?
Founded in '99, they did a Series 1 and they only did about 20 cars. The Series 2, they launched in '06. This one is the Turbo Plus, 415 horse on an all aluminum, 2,050 pounds.
According to the best estimates, how many of these are in the US currently?
So of this particular trim, the Turbo Plus, this is the only one.
And then a third spotlight, ER. You mentioned that the designers actually classified this as a replacement for a motorcycle. Man, tell me all about this one.
I don't know that it's necessarily a replacement for a motorcycle, but they wanted to capture the fun of being out on the road in a motorcycle, and they wanted to bring some of their expertise to it and wanted to be something that is even more fun than a motorcycle, but still street legal. This one in particular was signed by Mario Andretti here. And man, they're just great vehicles. I believe there's less than 20 in the US currently.
Well, thanks, ER. That's an incredible trio. And now I'm gonna go catch up with one of the other partners for the details on a custom Mustang. Brooke.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well, man. And this is a really radical fastback. I can see there's a high level of work that's been done. What are some of the details and backstory of the build?
Absolutely, Matt. This is a 1967 fastback Mustang. It has a QB4 chassis, so it's a resto mod. 427 Jack Roush. It has about 713 at the wheels. These are one-off Fortiago wheels. One of my favorite cars we do have here.
There's a lot in this space. Brooke, walk me around. Show me some of the other areas.
I would love to, Matt.
So how did Automotive Addiction get started?
The kind of vision was everyone gets to see these beautiful cars. It builds a passion for not only collecting, but incentivizing, motivating kids to have a collection of cars.
And in the course of any given year, Brooke, how many people are coming through?
You know, we get about 30 to 40,000 people through. A lot of those are children.
That's so awesome to hear, just because I know probably like yourself, that's how I got my love of cars, was being exposed to them. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are fostering that. And if you're in the Salt Lake City area, be sure to come out, take a look for yourself at Automotive Addiction. Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you coming.
You know, Matt, you really do get to do all the fun stuff. All of the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
And see all the cool things. And we ended up seeing one of those gentlemen when we were at the Las Vegas Concours as well.
We did, yeah.
With a very dapper suit, mind you.
Yeah, Brooke was looking sharp.
Yeah.
And a big thanks to Brooke and ER for letting us in and to check out their space and check out some of those cool cars. I will say I'm a big fan of that Yes Roadster. You saw me kind of geeking out, fanboying over it.
I love when I see you fanboy because it seems like you've seen everything, but then you just have these moments.
I don't know. That Yes Roadster just made me smile. And as well as the Tom Cruise Vanilla Sky car was also very fun to see in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're out in the Sandy, Utah area, be sure to check them out. They also have some track days and different things. So there's a lot to see and do with the Automotive Addiction team.
Well, maybe next trip out, I'll go with you.
Next time.
Yeah,
next
so I don't miss out on the fun.
Come out on the fun. Well, much more is in store here in Kansas City. Be sure to, wherever you're watching, leave us a comment, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. We do watch. We do look for them. We'll try to respond.
We do. We read all the comments.
We read all the comments.
Yeah.
But that's always a great way for us to hear what you guys think of the show. And as well as if there's some consignments you want to see a preview of or something, head over to the Mecum merch shop, pick up some cool holiday gifts, and be sure to tune into the live stream on Mecum.com. And we've got kind of an announcement with that, Brianne.
Yeah, you don't have to sign into My Mecum anymore to watch the live stream. So you just go to watch stream and it's there. You don't have to sign in or anything. So you're welcome, everybody. And hopefully today it kicks off. So today is the first official day that you don't actually have to sign into your My Mecum account to watch. So we're really excited to bring that back. It was something that we had in the past. We're bringing it back because sometimes retro is cool.
Yeah, it's a holiday gift.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow.